Hello, happy Halloween and welcome to Wasted Lunch. Perfect place to waste your lunch. I'm Paul McVeigh. How we doing? Today being All Hallows Eve, I am dressed up like a leprechaun with a glandular problem. What is going on, guys and gals? What is the excitement? I'll tell you what, I am excited because it's Halloween. This is great day of the year, of course. Always been celebrating Halloween in style. Gonna get some trick-or-treating on tonight. Well, actually, I'm not going to be getting any candy, but I'm taking the kids out trick-or-treating is what I'm doing. So, what's up, Jonah? Happy Halloween. How we doing? What's the big excitement? Gary, happy Halloween. Jonah says happy Halloween. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I was just saying, I'm a leprechaun with a glandular problem, is what I am this Halloween. Yeah, excited. Taking the kids out, gonna be trick-or-treating, and gonna end up, there's a Halloween bash at for Navarre. Gonna be a Halloween party too. What up, Gary? Damn, that coffee is hot. Wow, really hot. So you got a bowl of candy. This for the kiddies this year. Hopefully they won't tear shit up around here, although, believe it or not, Halloween has kind of lamed out for a lot of kids, I think. Jonah says, I'm myself. Looks like I can scare all the kids away. Oh, I don't think you're a scary looking dude. But you're not going to dress up or anything like that? Well... I'm taking my kids out trick-or-treating, and then Navarro's having a Halloween party, which I guess is going to be at the YMCA, so I'll be taking the kids there. It's going to be another frantic, hectic day for me. Got to do lots of driving and bouncing around and stuff like that, but should be fun. Should be fun today. Gary says, dress up like my grandson as a turd. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the picture on Facebook. I saw your grandson dressed up as a turd. That was pretty weird that, nowadays they got turd stuff. Poop stuff is real popular. Jonah says, I have a few things I can dress up as. Yeah. Well... Usually when Halloween comes around, though, I'm talking about Halloween, but usually I dress up as something scary, because a lot of people, especially adults, really like to dress up in a comic fashion. I usually dress up as something more scary, usually, but... let's see, Jonah says I can dress up as my grandpa. I'm his Vietnam dress uniform. I have worn it for Halloween before. That's interesting. That's cool. Wow, and you fit in his uniform. That's cool too. Let's see, Matt popped on for a second. I think Matt is Matt Bernard. Every now and then he will pop in, kind of see what's going on, and then his ass is out of here. I don't know, I guess. But, amazingly, because I see it on my screen there, Matt was on the one time and actually said a couple sentences, and then his ass was out. I don't know if he's camera shy or something like that. Well, it's not that he has to be on camera, so I don't know what. Anyways, he's a voyeur, pop in for a second. It'd be fun if he actually stayed a while and BS'd with us, but those are the breaks. Yeah, trick-or-treating in Navarre is only going to be an hour long. It's only an hour, but But, oh, Matt's watching again. What's up? I'm going to try and get him to say something here. It's only an hour, but they are having some kind of a party. I do not know what the heck all is going to be going on in this party, but I'm taking my kids to that, so that should be fun. And it's cool that Halloween is actually on Halloween, too. I like that because, you know, most of the time Halloween or trick-or-treating is not on Halloween these days. You know, they got it on off days. But I'm trying to remember. I think it's 6 to 7 in Navarre, so. Which you guys already heard about my taking my 2 youngest out trick-or-treating during a damn typhoon in Massillon. But I guess my kids are kind of lucky in a way. They weren't lucky with that rainstorm that we trick-or-treated in, but they are lucky in that they're going to get to go trick-or-treating again. See, now that's something that never happened when I was a kid for me or my brother or sisters. We never went trick-or-treating twice in the same year. You know, we never trick-or-treated outside of town. We were always in Massillon, period. You know, that's the only place we trick-or-treated. So, but let's see. Jonah says, I hope it doesn't rain like it did for Massillon. Yeah, that's some dreadful stuff, wasn't it? That was bad. I felt bad for my kids, but damn, they're strong and they're troopers, you know. They did not complain, so I'm proud of my kids for that. I mean, they have one goal in mind, and that was getting candy, so, which is, you know, that's what trick-or-treating is all about. So, anybody got any good Halloween stories? Any memorable things ever happen on Halloween or at a Halloween party, trick-or-treating or anything like that? I'll let you guys know about a thing me and a buddy of mine did one time when we were kids. I collected all kinds of masks. Big surprise. You know, I like monsters and shit like that. But I collected all kinds of masks, you know, monster masks. And so what we did one Halloween was, Gary says it looks like I need a haircut. Yeah. This is my leprechaun hair. This is my scruffy Irish leprechaun hair. But we went out one Halloween, brought a bunch of my masks out. Okay, and what we did was, we only did this on one block. Okay, we went trick-or-treating down the block wearing one mask the first time we went trick-or-treating, and then went down the street a couple more times wearing a couple different masks. Each time we'd be wearing a different mask and trick-or-treating. You know, we weren't wearing full costumes or anything like that, just regular clothes, but we kept switching our masks, and then we'd go hit the same houses again. So, yeah, we were kind of tricky like that. But, you know, I never was a bully, never went bag snatching. You know, never did any crap like that. You know, never would do that. Never smashed pumpkins or anything like that. You know, always thought that was horse shit to do that to somebody. So never vandalized stuff. You know, I was out for the treats, not the tricks. Which, you know, back in the days, a lot more kids were into that, tearing shit up on Halloween stuff, I think, than nowadays. Maybe it's the smartphones or something keeping them inside, but you know, back in the days, there was you drive around day after Halloween, and there were pumpkins and shit in the middle of the street. People had their lawn ornaments thrown in the streets. Bikes, tricycles, I remember seeing those out in the road before. I mean, there were a lot of Hellraisers back when I was a kid. And I don't think I don't think that's so much a tradition anymore now. And I talked to my mom and grandma back in the day. My grandma used to say, you know, the trick-or-treating when she was a kid, everybody made sure they were handing out candy. Because if you did not hand out candy, then the kids would, you know, that's when the tricks came around. That's when they'd mess your shit up. They would, you know, prank or vandalize your stuff, you know. So people made sure they had candy for trick-or-treaters back in the days, at least where my grandma lived. Them kids took that stuff serious, and if they didn't get candy, you were guaranteed something bad was going to happen. I heard of a story where somebody's outhouse got shifted, got moved, to where somebody ended up falling into the poop pit. Somebody moved their outhouse in the middle of the night. And let's see, Sean's with us now. Happy Halloween, Sean. Was talking, was asking if anybody had any Halloween stories. Funny, creepy, cool stuff, whatever that happened at Halloween or around Halloween time. That is Halloween-ish. Yeah, anybody, well, let's see. Yeah, it's so weird. I'm thinking about the schedule for the trick-or-treating. It is so weird that each town has different times and days for trick-or-treating. That doesn't make much sense to me. I don't understand that. I think Halloween, you know, trick-or-treating should just be on Halloween. I don't know if that's how it was when I was a kid. I seem to remember trick-or-treating being on Halloween, but maybe I'm wrong, you know? Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I was a kid. I didn't pay a whole hell of a lot of attention to that calendar. But, so, what is the big excitement? Is anybody going to any Halloween parties? Any bashes or anything like that? And, you know, that's another thing. Now, me and Gary know about this. We're grown-ups. We've been grown folks for a while. But you young guys, as you know, now you guys are adults. So, opens up a whole new world of Halloween parties. You know, now you guys are pretty much too old to trick or treat. So, what us old fogies do, instead of trick or treating, is we have Halloween parties. You know, and you go there and drink a bunch of beer, and the girls dress up scandalous in costumes and stuff like that. You know, the guys drink lots of beer. That's one of the things us grown-ups do. However, this year I'm not going to a Halloween party like that. Not going to one of those. Brandy, what's up? How we doing? Happy Halloween. You know, I think the Halloween bash I'm taking the kids to is going to be more family oriented. You know, it's a community thing. So I don't know what they'll be doing. I don't know. You know, we had a kids' Halloween party one time. And let's see, Jonah says I plan on watching a 4-hour Ghost Adventures live investigation. Oh, shit. 4 hours? My gosh. Now, what is that on? Is that on cable or... Well, I imagine it's on cable or something. Oh, my dog's all over me. I'm thinking she's wanting to go. OUT. I'm gonna... Okay, quit whining. I'll let you out in a second. What? Is that it? You need to go out? Oh, gosh, she's all jumpy and shit. Yeah, she needs to go out. Yeah, well, I guess that wouldn't be on Netflix, no. Because Netflix doesn't do live stuff. I'm gonna take the doggy out. Here we go. Alright, there you go. Go potty. Alright, my dog Nala is scanning for squirrels right now as we speak. What's up? Julia, how we doing? Jonah says it's on the Travel Channel. It comes on at 8 tonight. I'm going to miss out on that one for sure, even if I wasn't home at that time, because I am in the land of not having cable. Oh gosh, there goes my dog. She just went into the neighbor's yard. Come on, Nala. Like my whistling? Come on. She must have seen a squirrel or something. Get over here. Nice whistling, eh? Get over here. I gotta use my dog talking voice. Let's see. Jonah says if Netflix did live shows, that would be cool. It would be cool. Gary says, is there a Halloween walkthrough at the cemetery day? Or today? I'm sorry. I don't know, but that'd be cool as hell, wouldn't it? Especially Massillon Cemetery. You know, I always thought Massillon, the Massillon Cemetery on Erie Street, I always thought we were lucky in Massillon to have such a really cool cemetery. For, you know, being a small city, that Massillon Cemetery is really cool. And that would be badass to go through tonight on Halloween, wouldn't it? Because what's cool about the cemetery, and you know, for people who have not been there, is there are a bunch of crypts. Okay. I mean, it has, for such a small city, it has a wonderful variety of crypts there. And, you know, the cemetery itself has hills and dips and little narrow road to drive on where there's hills on both sides and crypts on both sides in some of the parts. And it really is genuinely spooky. So, yeah, that would be awesome, Gary, to go there. Go potty. My dog's standing there looking at me like, what the hell are you doing out here? I'm waiting for you to use the restroom, all right? She's staring at me. Go potty. You know what that means. Squat down, pee, poop, something like that. Come on. She's still staring at me. You know, this is where I'm like, okay, was my dog BSing me? Did she even really have to go to the bathroom, or was she playing me just to go outside and chase squirrels? Which I think that's what she did to me. I think she was dishonest with me. Dogs. And then, our dog, I guess, you know, around 3:30 in the morning, will wake my wife up, because Nala is our dog's name. She will have to go to the bathroom at around 3:30 a.m. every night. And she'll wake my wife up, and my wife has to take her outside. See, now that's a good part about her being mainly my wife's dog. You know, my wife is her favorite, period. My wife is the master to the dog, so she can wake up at 3:30 in the morning to take her dog out, and I'm cool with that. I've got no problems there. All right, you gonna go to the potty, or are you gonna stand there? Come on. If you're not gonna go, come on. There she comes. All right, back to my warm coffee. Into the dark. Spooky. All right, back into the light. Yeah, Halloween, guys. There's got to be, anybody got some favorite movies that you just kind of, that you have to watch on Halloween? You got one of those? You got 2, 3, 4 of those? We have one in our house that was not a traditional Halloween movie to me growing up, but was to my wife. And through marrying her, well, that kind of became part of my tradition too. And that movie is The Fog. You know, John Carpenter's The Fog. You know, which I think was made in the late 70s, early 80s maybe. I'm not sure. I think late 70s. I don't know. But that is one of the movies we watch every year. And sometimes, not all the time, we watch an old movie called The Changeling. Okay. And that is starring, oh my goodness. Let's see. George C. Scott. It's The Changeling with George C. Scott in it. Jonah says Halloween, of course. Yeah, Halloween's a good movie. It's a good movie. Gotta have Michael Myers, Jonah says. Yeah, that's an excellent one. How about you, Gary? Sean, you haven't said a word. You have not said a word. What's going on with you? You got any Halloween flicks that you really like to watch at Halloween, on Halloween? We already watched It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. And, what was the other movie we've seen? Sean says Halloween 3. Okay. Now, that's the one with the mask, right? Season of the Witch. That's the one that I have not seen in years, which would be pretty cool to see that again. I wouldn't mind seeing that one again, because it's been forever. And, in my mind, out of the Halloween movies that I've seen, I'm sure there's a couple I have not seen, is like Halloween 5 or some shit like that. I don't think I've seen that. But the original Halloween movie, it's my favorite out of all the Halloween movies I've seen. Jonah says The Conjuring is a great movie, too. Damn, dude, I can't remember if I've seen that or not. Sean says, yep. So, yeah, that first Halloween, I don't know. It's still, it's a classic. It's a classic, so, and it's nostalgic for me. So, The Conjuring, oh my gosh, I'm almost certain I've seen that movie. What the hell was that about? Well, I can imagine it was about summoning some kind of demon or some shit like that, but I don't know. So, if you want to clear me up on that, by all means, please do, Jonah, because I'm not 100% certain I saw that movie, but Jonah says, I also might watch The Shining. You can't beat the classics. Yeah, the original Shining was really good too. That was creepy as shit. I remember being a kid, I was terrified by that movie. Sean says Halloween 3 is the one without Myers. Okay, yeah, that's the one with the masks. 8 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 8 more days till Halloween, silver shamrocks. And then they were doing the countdown thing, and that was weird. That was a bizarre movie. It was creepy, but it was really bizarre. And the effects these movies have on you when you're young is so much different than when you're already a grown up. The things that really terrify and almost traumatize your mind can be so much more tame when you're young. It doesn't have to be over the top to really get in your head when you're a kid, and your imagination is at its healthiest. And runs away with you. You watch movies with some creepy stuff in it, and they really affect you. Like that made-for-TV movie I saw when I was a little kid, and I've talked about it before. Dark Night of the Scarecrow. That movie traumatized my ass. I was 5 or 6 when that came out, I think, and I remember that movie until I got it on DVD, I think last year. Sean says The Guy Who Wanted to Kill Every Kid in the World. Okay, that's what Halloween 3 was about. Yeah, is what you're saying. Yeah, they were trying to get all those kids to wear those masks. What's up, Alan? What's happening, dude? Talking about Halloween movies right now. Chime in. Share with us one of your favorite Halloween time movies. I don't care if it's a grown-up movie or a kid's movie. You know, go ahead and participate, man. Sean says, I know, man, it's crazy. The Wicked Witch of the West used to scare the heck out of me. It's not that crazy. I mean, you know, when you think about it and you're a kid, and she was ugly. I mean, she was nasty looking. So, I mean, she creeped me out when I was a little kid. You know, I mean, what was her name? Margaret Hamilton, I think, was the actress's name. Which I saw her in at least one other movie. But I didn't see that until I was an adult. And when I did see that movie and saw her, I'm like, that's a Wicked Witch. You know, it's like, you know, it's one of them typecasting things. You know, once somebody plays a character that iconic, they can never get the hell out of that role in people's minds. Sean says, she was the Green Lady. Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's where the Green Lady came from. Maybe it started with that movie. That's possible. Maybe it all started with that because she was green. She was a witch, so that could be the origin of that legend, which really wouldn't be that old. Although, you know, it's weird now. It would be old compared to some of these things. I got, one of my daughters talks about this creepy pasta crap, okay? And there are all these legends, you know, which I don't know how exactly they're legends because they're like brand new, most of this stuff. Oh, look at that, I can move my hair. That's nice, I got wiggly hair. There's all these legends that are, you know, 1, 2, 3 years old or whatever, a lot of them. You know, some Smiling Jack, Eyeless Jack, stuff like that, shit like that, and of course you got Slenderman and all this stuff. Those don't do anything for me. I guess I really like the more ancient, legendary legends that have been around for generations. Sean says, I know a good movie you can watch with Teresa. Okay, well, lay it on me. What movie? What movie's a good one I can watch with her? I'd like to hear about it. But, yeah, this creepy pasta stuff, you know, I don't try and discourage it, but I do tell her, I'm like, you know, this is all stuff some nerd came up with and put out on his computer, you know, and all of a sudden it is an instant legend, you know. Sean says arachnophobia. Arachnophobia, yeah. You know, watch out. She'd like that as much as she would a rat movie. She hates rats and rodents. So, yeah, she'd just really love to see it. I wonder if I could talk her into watching it. I'll try. Let's see. Jonas says, The Conjuring is based off a true story with Ed and Lorraine Warren. Okay, the Warrens. I know of them, who are known demonologists. The movie is based off the Warrens trying to help a family escape a demonic presence in their home. There was a witch who would curse mothers who lived on that property to kill their child. The mother ended up possessed, and Ed Warren had to perform an exorcism on her. A lot of crazy shit would happen in the home, such as pictures flying off the walls, doors slamming, and full body apparitions forming. Wow, man. I'm trying to think. Now, this was not... Okay, see, I saw a movie one time. That was... maybe it was a TV show where these people moved into what used to be a funeral home, and their boy became possessed. I mean, I think maybe I had that mixed up with what you're talking about. So now I'm not so sure I saw The Conjuring or not. Sounds creepy. And it's not that old, is it? I mean, we're talking a couple years old, if that. Is that what we're talking here? Well, The Conjuring, yeah. Ah, shit. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't see that, though. And that's the thing. I watch so many flicks that, wow. I'll tell you what, though, you guys talking about Halloween, the movie, makes me want to watch Halloween. I haven't seen Halloween for a long time now. It's been a long while since I've seen it, so that would be a nice one to watch at night in the dark where no one can hear you scream. Jonah says it is on Netflix, and yes, it's only a couple years old. Okay, well, I have Netflix, so I'm going to have to check that baby out. How about costumes? Well, Jonah said, Jonah, you already said you were going to be yourself, and then you thought, well, it sounded like you were thinking maybe I could dress up. How about you, Sean? You going to dress up as anything this Halloween? I know Tiger Town's already done with their trick-or-treating, so there's no point in sitting on your porch dressed up handing out candy. Oh, I forgot, there was somebody dressed up that scared my son pretty good when he went up to their house to get some candy. And so my son did get a scare out of somebody. I don't even know what this guy was dressed up like some, I don't know, Grim Reaper or something like that, I think. Forgot to mention that, but that was pretty cool. Sean says, Paul, the movie you're thinking about is The Haunting in Connecticut. Thank you. Thank you, Sean, for clarifying that. Yeah, they moved up there because the one boy, I think, was sick with something. They moved up there to be closer to the hospital or a doctor. You know, there was specialists up there. They moved up there to be closer to the doctors is how that all began. And the rent or whatever it was, lease, was a steal. And here it turned out because it was a funeral home and nobody wanted to live there, so, but, I don't know, yeah, The Haunting in Connecticut, yeah, there you go, and see, I'll watch movies, guys, and I will forget the titles of them. If I don't talk about them, if I don't talk about them on Wasted Lunch or something, they tend to go off in this, I don't know, foggy mental compartment somewhere, and they kind of just all get mixed up. I forget the titles and all that shit. I wish my wife can remember that shit so good. She can remember the plots so good. I wish I was more like that sometimes. Sean says, hey guys, would you live in a former funeral home? And that's so funny, Sean, because I was going to ask you guys that. I think when I was a younger man, I would have, when I didn't have kids. But, there is a part of me that is kind of like, I wonder if there really is some kind of, supernatural world out there or whatever that maybe I wouldn't want to have my kids around that. So I don't know. I don't think I'd dig living in a funeral home or former funeral home. I don't think so. Back in the days, it wouldn't have bothered me. Now it would. It'd bother me now. I think that's my honest answer there. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think it'd bug me. I think so. How about you, Sean? Would you live in what used to be a funeral home? a friend of mine was telling me a friend of mine has buddies who are turning a funeral home. I don't know if it's in Akron or Cleveland. I saw pictures of this place. It was a funeral home, real big, creepy ass place. And they're turning it into a tattoo shop. So, and I saw pictures of it, and it looks really cool. I can't remember the damn name of the place. I wish I could remember it. Sean says, how about a former insane asylum? I can tell you right now, no. No, I would not live in what was an insane asylum. Definitely not. Because I would, actually, that would bother me more than a funeral home, to be honest with you. That would bug me more. So, Jonah says, I would probably live in a former funeral home. I would love to see if something would happen. Okay, so Jonah's curiosity would lead him to thinking that was groovy. Jonah also says, Sean, you would love to live in an insane asylum. Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, just because I'm not a psychic or any shit like that. I'm not a psychic, but I think it would bother me living someplace like that, just thinking about the things that transpired there. What's up, Angie? We're talking about Halloweenish stuff right now. These guys are talking about if you would live in what was a funeral home or an insane asylum, would you live there? Yeah, the insane asylum thing would bug me more than a funeral home, because just knowing the kind of stuff that probably took place in some place like that sounds, I wouldn't want to think of that stuff. So, not necessarily worried about ghosts and stuff like that, but just the idea of it. Thinking about the suffering that took place there. That would bother me. I think that would bother me. Sean says, I would wake up to someone shaking my hand and blessing me. Shaking your hand and blessing you. Are you talking about in a funeral home or an insane asylum? Wow. Yeah. I tell you, I don't think I'd like to live in either one, but if I had to choose one, I would choose the funeral home. Sean says, X out that extra one. Okay. So, are we Xing out the blessing you? That'd be creepy shit, just to wake up to somebody you didn't know. Real or unreal, or ghost, or whatever. That'd be bad. I mean, I don't like waking up late on a Saturday or Sunday and coming out and a visitor, a guest is at our house. I don't even like that shit. Sean says the asylum. He was talking about in the asylum. Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. The thing about the funeral home is, I don't know if I said this or not, but the thing is that the dead people in the funeral home are already dead before they get to the funeral home. So if there is such thing as haunting or whatever, I would think there'd be more hauntings at insane asylums, because people die there. Jonah says, I already decided to lay on an old autopsy table. Yeah, that's right. You took it there. You took it. So it shouldn't bother you too much. Sean says, Jonah knows what I'm talking about. Okay, Jonah knows what you're talking about. I don't. I'm kind of in the dark on that whole last one you said. But, yeah, you guys know me. I'm on the fence about the whole spiritual thing. I'm not sure. I have scientific-minded part of me says it's all malarkey, and then there is still this old-fashioned part of my brain that says there's something to it. So I'm on the fence. I'm wishy-washy about it. But like I said, if I don't know. Let's see. So Jonah, you know what Sean's talking about. What is Sean talking about? Sean says shaking hands and blessing me. Yeah, I'm in the dark here. Guys, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. Yeah, insane asylums, not cool, especially the old ones. I mean, the shit they used to do back in the days, those people. Some bad things took place there at the old insane asylums. You know, you got lobotomies and people being strapped down and shit. Sean says, is that a pinata? Yes, it is. It's a Frankenstein pinata. Yeah. Yeah, it just floated past me, as you saw. Yeah. I don't know. Here's a funny thing, though, talking about the pinata. I've been thinking about moving the show where I'm filming right now. I've been thinking about moving it to a different area, having a different studio, so to speak, in a different location. I've been thinking about that, guys. Just throwing that out there. But the pinata made me think of that because I've been thinking, it might be cool if I was doing the show in a spot where I could have my own decorations and stuff hanging up, Been thinking about that. Thought maybe that'd be fun. Have my own little nook to do the show from. That might be fun, Been doing a lot of thinking about, let's see. Sean says floated. I could have sworn I saw your hand moving it. That must have been a ghostly hand, Sean. Yeah. Let's see. Jonah says you could always fill the pinata with fake blood instead of candy. Yeah, I'd have to use it pretty quick because, it's cardboard. So, yeah, that'd make a hell of a mess. It'd be creepy, Kids beating it with a stick and all of a sudden blood explodes all over and gets all over them. My son he's already creeped out by blood. He doesn't really seem to care for fake blood too much. He had one of those Scream masks with the blood that you pump and stuff, and then it ended up leaking. It got a leak somewhere, ended up getting on his hands and stuff. He wasn't too happy with that shit. I'll tell you what, speaking of Halloween and fake blood, guys, you were so lucky for one reason, to grow up in an age where the fake blood is cool. Jonah says, I would be the ignorant one to laugh about the pinata with the blood. Yeah, well, you guys grew up in a great time with good fake blood. See, now when I was a kid, okay, when you got fake blood, here's what you got. You got this stuff that was like a gel, okay? And it was reddish, but it was also kind of pink. It did not look like blood at all. That's the fake blood I grew up with. It was like a gel. You could get it in a tube, and it was red, but it was not that dark. It did not look like blood. So you guys grew up in an age with good fake blood. So be happy for that. Sean says, remember what I said, family movie night, Cujo. Yeah, I'm gonna refrain from watching that one with the kids. Yeah, don't need to watch Cujo. Yeah, terrifying them. And I was already talking about movies traumatizing kids, and Sean is talking about letting the kids watch Cujo. Yeah. Well, and that brings up, let's see, Jonah says, my cousin does not like blood. because he cracked his head open when he was younger. That traumatized him. He can't even eat ketchup either. Damn. Well, that's sad. I mean, it's sad for your cousin that, well, it's horrible that he cracked his head open, but, you know, it's sad that it has traumatized him that much to where he can't even eat ketchup. Well, I don't eat ketchup, but it's not because it looks like blood. It's because all the vinegar in it creeps me out. That's what creeps me out about it. Sean says, fine, how about Pet Sematary? Oh my gosh, I think that's even worse than Cujo for a kid to watch. And, you know, that's another thing that gets me. Is some people let their kids watch anything. You know, some people just do not give it a second thought when it comes to their kids watching movies and TV shows. They don't give a crap. They'll let their kids watch anything. And I'm not like that. I'm not one of those people. Jonah says, I was with him when it happened too. All I remember was half his face covered in blood. Yeah. Ugh. Sean says, doesn't your family like pets? Yeah, just not undead ones, Sean. We don't like undead pets. I don't like having dead pets, but I wouldn't want to see them resurrected either. Yeah, Pet Sematary was a messed up flick. And the kid in it, that's what really made it worse, you know. That's what made the movie bother me. And I think most people, you know, the kid being in there. Jonah says, who in the right mind would say, sure, my 6-year-old can watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Yeah, my question exactly, but there are people who do. There are people who would let their kids watch anything. I mean, anything. They don't give a shit about it. I wouldn't. I'd like to think I'm in my right mind. But yeah, there are people who, you know, and I've known people who were allowed to watch anything they wanted to when they were kids. And some of the people, I think it did mess them up a little bit. Being allowed to watch whatever. I think some of my friends, it caused some real problems and shit for them. So, but, you know, in order to avoid that kind of stuff, I of course do not let my kids just watch anything. So, you know, either I've already watched what I let my kids watch, or I'm watching it with them, and if something happens, I turn the movie off, you know. Sean says, all jokes aside, yeah, it's kind of messed up to let your kids watch stuff like that. Yeah, it is. It is. Because, you know, young kids, they've already got, you're already combating and trying to teach them what's real and what's not real, what are real threats, what are imaginary, and that's already, believe me guys, that's already complicated and hard enough to do as it is. It really is. It's difficult. So you throw on top of there, you're letting them watch messed up shit. I mean, you're throwing in a whole bunch of destructive factors into that poor kid's mind. It just, you know, it's tough enough being a kid and dealing with fears, yet alone your parents letting you have all these new ones bombard you. Because that's a thing, and one of my kids has trouble with that, seeing, you know, my son will say, you know, well, I can handle watching this or whatever. He will want to watch stuff, and I know he just wants to watch it because he wants to feel older and stuff like that. And he will act like something is alright for him to watch, and then it'll scare the hell out of him, you know. See, Sean says, hope you know I was joking, Paul. I wouldn't actually recommend you let your kids watch Cujo or Pet Sematary. Yeah, I knew you were joking, dude. I know that. No problem with me thinking that. Jonah says, if your kid is of age and mature enough to understand it's a movie, by all means, that's okay. But to scare the shit out of little kids who don't understand that the movie is not real, but something crazy like that could happen with a sick person like that. Yeah, it's, and that's the thing, guys. Sean says, just stick to Wallace and Gromit and the Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Yeah, we've watched that one. I love that movie. That's so funny. Thanks for bringing that up, dude, because I forgot all about that movie. Actually saw that one in the theater. I haven't thought about that all season. That's a shame, isn't it? I haven't even thought of that movie this season. Damn, that's a good one. Yeah, and with what Jonah says, I'm going back to what you were saying about it. Let me go back a second here to what you said. If your kid is of age and mature enough, that's another thing, Jonah, is you can have two kids, and I can say this from experience, and one can be younger than the other child and handle stuff even better than the older kid. So this is a person-by-person thing as to what they can tolerate or watch and just, fluff off as, it's just a movie, it ain't real. It really depends on the child. I mean, everybody's different. They're different people, and some people, adults are like that too. Something that doesn't bother me might really bother somebody else who's an adult, Let's see, Jonah says, I used to do the same thing when I was younger. I would always want to watch a scary movie when I was younger just to try to feel older. Yeah, and that's what one of my sons does. He tries to watch stuff even though he shouldn't watch it. What's up, Megan? What's happening? How are you? We're talking about Halloween movies. Jonah says, I have not seen Wallace and Gromit for years. Did you see the Were-Rabbit movie? It was good. If you like Wallace and Gromit, you'll like it if you haven't seen it, but maybe you've seen it. But good movie, and I'm very glad that Sean brought that up because I forgot all about that one. And I've been racking my brains, guys, to think of family-friendly Halloween movies. And I completely forgot about the Were-Rabbit one. Yeah, I don't know how I did that. But now I want to watch it again. So, let's see. Yeah. Oh my gosh, guys. Today is going to be busy. It's going to be a very busy day. I'm looking at the clock because what happened yesterday, check this stuff out. What happened yesterday, okay, did wasted lunch, and ended up on here an extra hour longer than I thought it was. Alright, so yesterday I get off of the show and I'm thinking I'm going to do my usual thing. I'm going to go treadmill and all this and that after the show was done. And I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and I look at the clock, and I'm thinking I got another hour or so before I have to leave the house, and I realize, oh my gosh, it's 2 something, not 1 something. So, dude, we were on so long yesterday, I lost track of the time. I thought I had gotten off the show an hour earlier than I did. That's why, I'm checking out the clock because I'm like, oh shit, it's getting close to 1. I don't want to do the same thing I did yesterday. So I ended up not treadmilling and almost being late to my doctor's yesterday. That's what the hell happened. Sean says, what about Gremlins? I know it's PG, but is it too much? And this is a terrible thing about Gremlins, okay? There are some kind of gruesome things in there that I think would still, kind of cover the kid's eyes with the microwave gremlin and stuff. Maybe the stabbed gremlin, the mom stabbing it. But the story that the girl tells about her dad getting trapped in the chimney while he was dressed up like Santa Claus, that terrible, terrible buzzkill and horrible for kids to watch. especially if they're looking forward to Santa coming and dropping off presents. Terrible scene in that movie. For kids, you know, that's the thing. Jonah says, Halloween Town is one of my favorites growing up. Okay. I remember Halloween Town. We were looking that up the other day. Jonah says Gremlins was awesome, LOL. It is an awesome movie. It was an awesome movie. But the thing is, do you guys remember where the girl is talking about her dad getting trapped in the chimney? It's horrible. You don't see anything, but you hear the girl talking about it. And it's like I said, if your kids are expecting Santa Claus to come down the chimney and you let them watch Gremlins and hear that, how the girl's talking about her dad dying in the damn chimney, I mean, that is going to totally ruin that. But Jonah says, I remember that. Yeah, that is one of the problems. Crap. Well, time is 1 o'clock oven standard, guys. I have got to wrap it up. I've got to get back on my schedule. Sean says, yeah, I remember exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that, and see what sucks about that is you got a movie that's good on so many levels and that you kind of could get away with your kids watching so much of it, but then something like that is a total, it's bad when you got kids expecting Santa to drop off presents. Sean says Jaws is PG too. Yeah, surprisingly. Jonah says total buzzkill to be like, oh well, you see Santa doesn't exist. That is a bad way to ruin a kid's hope and dreams. Yeah, exactly. It is. Sean says, have a good day, Paul. And Jonah says, have a great day, Paul. Thank you, guys. You guys have fantastic days as well. And anybody who watched, thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day. Going to be on tomorrow doing Wasted Lunch again. Have a happy and safe Halloween, guys. Be careful out there and look out for your brothers and sisters. And I will see you later. Bye.